excited today.
Recording in progress.
This is the very first webinar of our new series, the 2021-2022 webinar series. And we have this fantastic speaker who I introduced to you, and many of you know her already, Hind Elyas. And Hind is an instructor, English instructor at Niagara College, leading academy in Saudi Arabia. And she also is the incoming chair of Tesol International Professional Council. She is Issues Month Coordinator for IATEFL Global Issues. She is the former Executive Secretary of Africa ELTA. She is involved in Tesol International Mentorship in English language teaching. She's a committee member there, and she's a founding member of English Language Testing Society. So as you can see, Hind already has this fantastic background, and she has many, too many to mention, other affiliations. So we are thrilled to have her here with us today. And Hind is going to be talking about the power of affiliate networks, a journey to remember. So I turn it over now to you, Hind.
Thank you so much. And thank you to the Career Path for inviting me. And I'm really happy to be here today. So my presentation is The Power of Affiliate Networks, a Journey to Remember. So I'm going to talk about affiliate networks and communities of practice. And then I'm going to talk about my personal journey through affiliate networks. Okay. So what is a community of practice? A community of practice is a group of people who share a concern or passion for something they do, and they learn to do it better as they interact regularly. So it's something that we're doing right now, being together, talking about different topics, and creating a community. The concept was first proposed by the educational theorist Etienne Wenger and cognitive anthropologist Jean Lave in 1991. Sorry, just trying to fix the slide. Can you see the slide? Is my slide showing? Okay, great. Yes. Okay, so Wenger stated that communities of practice are everywhere, and we're involved in many of them in different places, at work, at home, and we don't even realize that. So in some groups were core members, and in others were at the margins. And I thought this was very interesting, looking at different positions and different phases of our lives when we're in different parts of the association. And I thought about myself when I joined different associations. He stated that we all learn on the job, or at least in the specific context we operate within. And the diagram shows how there's a core and periphery or fringes of practice. And I thought about myself when I joined the Professional Development Professional Council as a member. And you just think about how, when you start with an organization and you're still learning and you're just observing, and then you slowly get involved. When I started, I wasn't actually planning to, I wasn't planning to get involved, but it just happened eventually. So situated learning is the area when people engage with one another, to gain knowledge and understanding. So when you start learning about the association, getting more involved, then you start developing interest in doing more things and taking on more roles. By engaging with other members or learners within the community, we gradually move from the fringes towards the core. As I mentioned in my case. So all of us are part of communities, but we're not really consciously aware of our engagement within them. Staff rooms or corridors where teachers discuss specific teaching situations. So they can happen everywhere. This is a community of practice. And meetings online, different media, social media platforms, Twitter, and different places where people can share best practices. So I thought this was very interesting, the levels of participation. Communities of practice involve multiple levels of participation. And this happens in all learning spaces, and we can even think about our students in the same way. And this is because involvement can produce learning in multiple ways, and there are different levels of relevance to different people. If you're interested in a certain area, you'll get more involved. If you're not, you'll just be an observer. So people move in and out of these categories over the life of a community. If I look at my roles as in different associations, different involvement, and then throughout the years, you start moving from one role to another, one association to another. So it's very interesting, and I'm sure you've all been in situations like that. Interaction and knowledge flows between them, and they create opportunities for learning. Participants need time and space to collaborate, communicate, refine, and use knowledge within a community. And as I mentioned, my beginnings as a member of the Professional Development Professional Council, even when I joined Tesol Sudan as a member, Africa ELTA, as a PD coordinator, I was also a member first. So then eventually you start moving to the core. They also need to accept different levels of participation within the community. And it's also different levels of interest, which translates to different levels of participation. So if you're interested in a certain association or in a certain role, that will help you move to the core. The core group, as you can see in the picture, is a relative small group of people whose passion and engagement energize and nurture the community. And I think about this as the Tesol board of directors. And it forms the heart of the community. They charter, market, nurture, and operate the community. And core members coordinate leadership within the community. Then we have active participants, and I think of them as chairs, founders of PLNs, and these are members who are recognized as practitioners, and they define the community. They work closely with the core team. They shape the definition and direction of the community of practice. And it includes defining the community's shared vision, the purpose, roles, strategies for interaction, marketing, and communication. And then we have occasional participants, and that's the third circle. And these are members who participate when the topic is of special interest, when they have something specific to contribute, or when they're involved in a related project. So it could be a presenter who's not always part of the association, very active, but during a conference or an event, that presenter would be more active and more involved. Then we have peripheral participants, and the level of participation is not that much. because they don't feel that they want to contribute or they don't have the time, but they constantly digest the discussions, the details of the community, and they can use this in a different context. So they can learn from Tesol and apply it in their own associations. They can just be participants in Tesol, but presidents of their local associations. They're members who have sustained connection to the community, but with less engagement and authority, either because they're still newcomers or because they don't have personal commitment to the practice, or they're involved with other associations and busy or not as involved as the core or active members. They can, as I said, they can be active elsewhere and carry the learning to these places. And some people do that. They come and attend international conferences to help their local associations and learn from associations like Tesol and ISFL. They may experience the community as a network. Finally, we have the outsiders. And these are the ones who interact with the community occasionally without being members. And I think about these as publishers who come to conferences and have their their stalls where they advertise for their books, and they have different tools. So they're least connected to the community, and they may connect to access the community resources or provide a specific service, as I said, publishers or website support. And they interact only to receive or provide a service or gain access to artifacts produced by the community, such as publications, websites, people who just come to learn, and it could also be just members or participants. So I think that this is really interesting, and it got me to think about myself and the different levels. And I think I really liked the different learning about the different levels of participation. So now I'm going to talk about my journey, and I'm going to talk about it using the ALT. A to Z of ELT by Scott Thornberry. And I asked him if I could use this idea. I like the idea of A to Z. So mine is A to Z of my professional learning journey. So A is for affiliate, and my journey started with my local affiliate, which is Tesol Sudan. I joined Tesol Sudan in 2016. And I was the acting vice president of Tesol Sudan. And in the picture here, you can see Ayman Sheikh, who's the past president of Africa ELTA. And he supported me during this journey. That was the first association that I joined as a leader. And I learned so much from Africa, from Tesol Sudan. So it started with Tesol Sudan. And I'm going to talk about the other associations that I'm part of later. B is for bridge. So I think of Tesol International as a bridge that connects associations. It can be, you can start with your local affiliate like Tesol Sudan and then move to the big Tesol, or you can start from Tesol International and then find your local association or regional association through Tesol International. So it's like a bridge. C is collaboration. So I'm going to talk about the associations that I'm part of, or I was part of, and the association, the link between Tesol International and these associations. So I'll start with Tesol Africa ELTA, and I was the professional development coordinator, then the executive secretary of Africa ELTA. And there has always been collaboration between Africa ELTA and Tesol International. So in this picture, Deborah Short was talking about Africa ELTA's efforts during the pandemic. This was the 2020 convention. And there was always collaboration between these associations. Our first Africa ELTA conference was sponsored by Tesol International, and it was in Sudan, actually. So there's always collaboration. And here, the next slide also shows Tesol Sudan and Africa ELTA. So presidents and leaders of Tesol International who supported both associations. So for Tesol Sudan, we had Dudley Reynolds, Christine Combe, Kathy Lobo, Africa ELTA. We had Deborah Short for our Deborah Short for the first virtual symposium 2020, and Deborah Healy and Andy Curtis, who's with us today. Thank you for being here, Andy. 2021 5th annual conference, and we had Yilin Sun and Dina Beret for our Africa ELTA conferences. So D is for development. And this was part of the Tesol resource catalog. And I talked about how the leadership development certificate program helped me. And I did that twice, actually. Once I did it because I was interested in it. And the second time I did it with the leadership mentoring program. So this was when I was acting vice president at Tesol Sudan, and this leadership development certificate program really helped me a lot, and I learned so much from this program. E is for engagement, and this is one of my favorite Tesol videos. And it talks about the importance of engagement and how you can get involved. And I would like to play the video for a few minutes. Can you hear?
So I welcome you to join us.
Hi, Hind. We can't hear it. I'm sorry.
Oh, you can't hear. Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, that's all right. Sorry. Okay, so this is a really nice video, and I can share the link later. So it talks about engagement and how to get more involved. F is for finding one's passion. And G is giving one a sense of purpose. And that is how I feel about being part of Tesol and all the other associations. It's funny, yesterday we had a meeting with some of our directors, and one of them is following me on LinkedIn, and he's always commenting on my post, and he said, Hind is married to Tesol. So if you want to make Hind happy, just talk to her about conferences or Tesol. So yeah, finding one's passion. So, and when people ask me about, when they say, oh, you're doing too much, or you need to focus on your well-being, I tell them, this is my well-being. So F is for finding one's passion. And this was Take 5 with Tesol. It's a great series. It's fun. You find it on all the Tesol International website. And it's just things that you, or platforms like Instagram and Facebook. And it talks about well-being and just doing fun things to help you focus on your well-being and, you know, just have a great time. So one of them was talking about your favorite book. So this was my favorite. This is my favorite. So it says, take a picture with your favorite book. And my favorite book is Ikigai. And Ikigai is finding one's passion and giving one a sense of purpose. And that's how I feel by being part of all these associations. Sometimes the slides don't change. I'm not sure why. Okay, there you go. Okay, so H is for how to get involved. So there are so many different ways you can get involved. You can start with your local associations. You can volunteer, serve on a committee. And that's how I started, by serving on the, joining my local association, Tesol Sudan, and then joining the Professional Development Professional Council. You can review proposals, review different courses, apply for different scholarships and awards, attend the conferences, attending the Tesol Lounge Live. And there's so many ways to get involved. You just when you start, and you'll just find that you're involved in so many different ways. I is for incoming chair, and I'm very excited. I'll start my term as chair in November, and I'm very excited about that. This is our amazing team, and it's great being part of the Professional Development Professional Council, and I really enjoy being part of this great group. J is for journey. And as I mentioned before, my journey started with my local association, which was Tesol Sudan, and then I moved to Africa. I moved to Tesol International, then Africa ELTA, and then I joined Tesol, which is the association in Saudi Arabia. And then I also managed to join different associations that are not only Tesol, but other associations like IATEFL, Global Issues, the English Language Testing Society. I was an advisor for National Geographic for a year, and that was a very interesting journey. And the last group that I joined was Womentorship in ELT, and I'll talk a little about that later. K is for knowing. So when you join different associations and you attend conferences in different countries, you get to learn about different associations, different conferences, and this is where people share information and flyers and call for papers at different conferences. So it's a great place to be, and you always get to learn about a new association or a new conference. And one of them was the affiliate council. There were so many different associations that I got to I knew about, but I got to participate in their events like Tesol France, Tesol Spain, and that was through the affiliate network. So it's a win-win situation. L is for leadership mentoring program. So I was very honored to receive the Tesol Leadership 2021 Leadership Mentoring Program Award. And this is a picture of my mentor, Luciana de Oliveira. And it's a very interesting program, and I'm learning so much. M is for mentoring, and mentoring is not only official. There are other ways that you can learn about and be mentored. And here there are some of my mentors who started with me from the beginning. And there's Ayman, Andy, who's here today. And I remember when I met Andy Curtis in Dubai, Tesol Arabia. And it was the first time, and he said, you are going to be a leader in Tesol. And I thought, oh, okay. I didn't say that. I was like, oh no, I won't. I wasn't involved in any association then, and I'm happy to be here today. So thank you for your confidence in me. And I also got support from Christine Combs, a very good friend, Ayman, who encouraged me to join Africa ELTA. And it's just great to have that support, and knowing that you have somebody to ask questions, somebody to get information from, guidance and support. So and of course you get to meet other friends and network, and it's a great community where you can meet people and learn. Okay, I think I went to the wrong slide. Sorry, I'll just N is for networking. So being part of these associations, you get to network and meet people, and that's something that I really miss. This is the Tesol Arabia conference, just going from room to room, bumping into people, chatting during breaks, before the presentations. So that is something I really miss, face-to-face communication. And I'm starting to see people attending face-to-face conferences, and I can't wait for the 2022 Tesol convention in Pittsburgh, fingers crossed. Always for opportunities. And this was I was featured in the Tesol member moment, and I talked about the opportunities that that we build, and how we can, network and connect with teachers from all around the world, and just being in one place, having one goal, and connecting with people all around the world and networking. P is for participation. And in this slide, I focused on different conferences and different events that I participated in during the pandemic. And it was also an opportunity, we had more time, we were at home, there were so many online events. So it was a great opportunity to learn about new associations like Action Tesol Caribbean, IATEFL ESP, Peru Tech, Pakistan Learning Association. These were all new associations that I got to know about during the pandemic. Q is for quality resources, and this is my favorite book, which is the 6 Principles for Exemplary Teaching of English Learners. And it's a great resource. And this is being part of different associations, being part of Tesol, you get access to all these amazing resources. And I was very happy that I got to review the 6 principles, for example, teaching when I was part of our professional development, professional council work. So that was a great honor, and I was very excited when we did that. R is for representation. And last year during the 2021 convention, I was an ambassador, and being an ambassador was amazing. It was such an amazing experience. I got to learn more about the convention. It wasn't just like attending a conference or attending a session or presenting, but I was more involved. I felt like I was, part of the sending messages, posting announcements, showing people how to navigate the platform. I learned so much. I had to know this information so I can share it with other people. And I felt that, it was a responsibility. I was very excited. And I think I'm going to do that all the time, not be an ambassador. I don't mind being an ambassador, but just, taking notes and posting and asking people if they need help. And it was just such an amazing experience. And if I get the opportunity to be an ambassador next year, I would definitely go for it. S is for Scott Thornberry. So this was actually a Petracucha presentation, and I wasn't really, it was my first time to do a Petracucha. So I was looking for different ideas, and then I found Scott Thornberry's Petracucha and A to Z of ELT. And I loved the idea. So I asked Scott if I could use his idea, and he kindly agreed. So a big thank you to Scott. T is for togetherness. So as you know, the Engage with Tesol video that I posted previously talks about togetherness and being a part of a community. You get to advocate, educate, inspire, connect, lead, create, listen, prepare, nurture, learn, coach, and so much more. U is for unique opportunities. So being part of Tesol is a unique opportunity to get your voice heard, and that's there's so many different ways to do that. Town halls, voting, elections, and you've probably seen lots of posts about Tesol elections, surveys, and it's just great to be part of a great association where everyone's voice is heard. V is for virtual events, and I know a lot of you weren't very happy with the online conferences because people wanted to travel and see each other and meet face to face. But for me, actually, having the Tesol convention online was a blessing because normally it's during exam time where I'm based and I can't travel. It's a really long flight. I think it's 16 to 17 hours. I don't like long flights either. So it was the first time for me to actually get to attend the convention. So I was thrilled. So there was also the affiliate network where I got to meet lots of different leaders and learn about lots of new associations. And the Tesol Virtual Advocacy and Policy Summit, I got to learn so much during in these events. W is for mentorship in ELT, and this is the newest Tesol International PLN, and I'm very happy to be part of it. It focuses on empowering women personally and professionally, and this is our team. We had our first event in July, and it was great. We had 550 registrations, over 60 countries, representation from over 60 countries, and it was a great success. And here we have our upcoming events. We have Womentorship Conversation Series. We have an event in November, in February, May, and these are the links. I will share them with Lynn and Linda, and we'll be happy to join us. It's open for everyone. It's womentorship. It focuses on women, but we actually during our first, and everyone's invited, men, women, it's for everyone. And we had George and George Krampus and James Papel. They were with us. So yeah, we're looking forward to having many people there, and we're inviting everyone. So W is for what is your Tesol story? What happened? How did you get involved? Who helped you get involved? Where was it? Why did you get involved? And why did you continue? So we're going to talk, I'm going to focus on this question at the end of the presentation. X is for nothing, because I couldn't find anything that starts with X. That's part of my journey. So that's X. And Y. Y is for you. And this is one of Tesol International's events, which is Elevate. So why, elevate you elevate, so Tesol elevates you elevate others, and everybody elevates everyone else. So it's a win-win situation. Everyone's supporting everyone else, and I was part of this event, and it was great being part of the event and sharing information with other colleagues. Z is for Zoom, where we are right now, zooming into breakout rooms, going from one country to another online. That's also a blessing. It's an opportunity to travel virtually and learn about associations and network and meet people. So that's one of the advantages of Zoom. And as I mentioned before, I'm going to focus on this question. What is your Tesol story? Where did it begin? When? What happened? Where? Why did you continue? How did you get involved? And I'm sure you'll have we'll hear some interesting stories. Yeah, there. So that is the end of the presentation, and I'm interested to hear about your Tesol stories. I'll just stop sharing my screen.
Hind, that was wonderful. But before we get to our Tesol stories, Andy did have a question in the chat, and I'm going to make him ask.
Sure.
Thank you, Lynn. I really liked that diagram that you presented. It looked a little bit like a polar vortex or a black hole descent into hell, but I did like the diagrammatic representation of all these different ways of being involved and the spatial metaphors. So I think the question is that I asked was, how do you think, because one of the things, as you know, with Tesol, IATEFL and other groups is member engagement, and how I was wondering how you would recommend or help people move, assuming they want to, move from the core, where a lot of our members are, I would say, or even the majority of our members in many associations like this are on at the periphery. How do we bring them closer to the center, do you think?
I think that's a really good question, and that is something that we always, try to with Africa ELTA and IATEFL Global Issues, and we're always trying to find, members and get people involved. And I think one of the things that we've done, maybe free membership, having lots of different events. And just reaching out to the members and trying to, send personal, this is with what I do with my IATEFL Global Issues, to get my, we have a newsletter, which is called, my column is called Global Voices. And just to get people involved is by, reaching out to them personally and asking them questions, sharing ideas with them, and just making them feel that they're not just sending a general email, sending a personal email with their names. I feel they respond more than just getting a general notification about an event. If you send, it does take time, but if you send a personal invitation to an event, more people attend, rather than sending just a general dear member and sending an invitation. And I think, free events, although membership is not always very expensive in some places, but it is an issue to get people, and I think having different, for example, different things, just surprising members with different ideas, like Take 5 with Tesol, for example. It's something fun, and it's like a competition, and there's a scavenger hunt. One of them was a scavenger hunt. So just doing things that are different. I've never seen that before. So just doing things that are new and finding new ideas to engage and keep keep them coming back.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. How about you? What would you recommend?
One of the, I was asked recently to document my Tesol service, and it turned out to be 99 years. I'm 58, so I've logged 99 years of Tesol service at 58.
Wow.
Which of doing that is, as you do, Hind, is to be doing a lot of things all at the same time. But for me, one of the big ways in which I try to contribute is through writing. So I've written regularly, as you know, for the affiliate newsletter. And I think of the 20-something intersections I've written for about 18 or 19 of the newsletters. In fact, I just finished a piece for the Africa ELT Association newsletter, explaining why I joined and the ways in which it's what it means to be African. So for me, a lot of it is through writing. I find that writing is a way of expressing how you exist within these associations, within the different groups. So I think encouraging people to think of, as you've said, different ways of contributing. People say, well, I can't travel, for example, or I'm too nervous to present. And then I start talking to them about their teaching. And I say, well, that's a great idea. Have you written that? You could share that in the Tesol Resource Center. So a lot of people think it's about being on committees or board of directors or presenting at Tesol. But as you know, and as you talk about in your presentations, there's many different ways. And because I really am still a writing teacher at heart, I always go to the writing side, and I encourage people who are strong on the writing side to say, well, you know, there's 20-something newsletters. They're always looking for content. They're always looking for people to help them with editing and so on. So I think for me, it's been helpful to pick an area apart from the presenting. And for me, it's really been the writing. Of my 200 or so publications, probably 150 are within the world of Tesol.
Wow.
So that's how I encourage people by, as you do, not trying to get them involved. I ask them to tell me what are some of the things they're interested in, what are some of the things they're good at or not good at, and the skills they'd like to develop. So it's a lot of, I learned this over decades, but a lot of it is initially listening for a long time before, because if you listen carefully, almost every language teacher in the world will eventually say something that connects them now or in the future to the association, this association or a different association. So listening long and hard, and then suggesting very gently, because one of the things that I know people are always amazed when they see your presence and your presentations is like, how on earth does any one person find all the time to do all those things? And as you kindly said, the first day I saw you, when you, long before you'd done any of this, I know a leader when I see one. I know a future leader when I see one. And I saw that so strongly in you. You don't see that in many people, but if you sit with them for long enough, you'll find that there are things they want to do and would like help doing. And our association and other associations, the affiliates in particular, I think, as you know, we have affiliates in over 100 countries. And I write for the newsletters, or I present. There's 50 affiliates in the US. So one reason I wanted to attend your talk, as I try to attend all of them, is that I think affiliates are a bit of an untapped resource for leadership in associations like ours. That's where you get diversity of leadership, by looking at affiliates around the world and finding people like you, for example.
Thank you so much. And one of the interesting points is about, you know, reaching out to people. For example, our IATEFL newsletter, at the beginning, we for this column, it was, you know, we just used to post it on the Facebook page or our website, and we, you know, it was difficult to get contributions, but then I started messaging people, emailing them, and, you know, saying hello and inviting them to contribute. So I managed to get 8 first, and then I started sending it out to a few more just in case the 8 don't respond. And then and then from 8, the first one was 8 contributions, and then it was 16, and then the third one I had more than that, and then my coordinator said, please stop, I can't do more than 16, enough. So I had to find a way to get the ones, and then you feel like, okay, they gave you their time, so I can't just not put their contribution. So we try to find ways to get them, on the website, or just all the ones who participated or contributed to, even if the page doesn't fit anymore, we can just post it on the website, and they like it. They just, post it everywhere, and they're very happy about it. So that's a really good way to keep people, and some of them joined as members as well. So that was also really good. So yeah. Would anyone like to tell us their journey, TESOL journey? Linda, would you like to share, or Lynn?
Sure. I'll tell you. Mine is a long journey. I started back in the 1980s, actually, and as with many TESOLers, I think it was a combination of my love of language and culture, and therefore wanting to travel, right? And TESOL was a great fit for me. And I had some great mentors along the way also. In fact, our founder of our TESOL CPD leadership team is Liz England, and she was one of my professors, and she had a way of yes, and she had a way of inspiring people. And so, and of course, she was also all about TESOL. And I remember she had asked me, this was many years ago, to coordinate the Michigan TESOL. We were in Michigan, that's where Liz was teaching. And so I said, sure, at the time, not really realizing what I was getting myself into.
It's not going to stop. You just keep going on, right?
That sounds so familiar, Linda.
But I think sometimes it's good to just jump in, right? And because you learned so much, and I learned a lot about coordinating a conference, and made a lot of friends, and things kind of snowballed from there. And then I was fortunate enough to go overseas, so which is what I wanted. So I was in Spain for a couple of years, and then I taught at NUS, the National University of Singapore. So I was in Singapore for a couple of years. And then when I came back, we retired to Arizona, and I wound up teaching again. I went to the University of Arizona, and I was with the Center for English as a Second Language, which is where I also, continued to meet people and continued to grow in my career. And that job took me to many, many different places in the world. I was very fortunate to coordinate all of the global programs. And so oftentimes I got to participate in those programs. So it was just a wonderful experience. And now that I am kind of officially retired, I stay busy with this group, with the TESOL Career Path Development, because it's a way for me to stay connected to everyone. And I'm also doing a specialist job right now with the teachers who I taught in Tajikistan, because I was in between all of that somewhere. I was an English language fellow based in Tajikistan, and I did a lot of teacher training there. So now I'm working with some of my same teachers again, and it's been great. So it's been a long road, and it has taken a lot of twists and turns, which I think is pretty typical, right, of this career. Is many times you don't really know where things are going to lead you, but just keep moving forward, and they do. And nowadays, I think the other thing to think about for younger people getting into the field is that there are many other branches, ways to branch out, such as materials development and things like that. So yeah, it's great, and I'm very thankful for all of the people I met along the way.
That's amazing. That's very interesting. It's really interesting to learn about, you know, everybody's TESOL journey and how they got involved. And I know most of us, you know, thought we weren't really going to get involved, or as we said, what we're getting ourselves into. But it's addictive. It's really addictive. You know, whenever you get invited to join a committee, it's so tempting. You can't say no. Like, oh, okay, I'll just do this one. And oh, okay, I'll just join this one. I didn't know that I'll be in all these committees. I didn't plan that, but it just, you know, happens. So yeah, and I like X. Very good. That's nice, Andy. X for Crossroads. Would you
Often
like
I mean, the people I know outside of TESOL, family and friends, have followed a pretty linear career path. And almost nobody I've ever met in 30 years and 50,000 teachers has ever followed a very typical linear path, not geographically, not professionally, I mean, that's what makes our association or associations of international language educators really, really unique, I think, is that the different pathways. I guess there may be a generation of young people when you ask them and they're at school, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they might say a TESOL professional, but I don't think we're there yet. They still want to be firemen or nurses or doctors or you know, whatever. But it's, you know, the P is for pathways in some ways, and I can see a C for connectedness and a V for voice. There's
wow, I need to add those to my
a lot of the teachers I meet feel that they don't have a voice, and groups like this and associations like ours and others can help with that, giving them a voice, whether it's as a presenter or a writer or on a committee or a task force. Or teachers, you know, the work we do is so important, and yet often we do feel profoundly unheard. So this notion of V for voice is something I think about when I see your presentations.
That's great. I'm definitely going to add these to my next presentation. Voice and Crossroads. That's amazing. And of course, what am I getting myself into?
WH questions.
And you know, it's very interesting because my colleagues always tell me, why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you doing this? I want to do this. They don't get, do you get paid? This is not a real job, you know? They always tell me this is a job. You're like, well, I like it. So yeah. How about you, Lynn? How did you get involved with TESOL?
I think just what Andy just said, the crossroads. I've been in and out of teaching and in and out of TESOL. I'd like to say I'm a cat of 9 lives. I think I've probably been in and out of TESOL 9 times. But it's the people. It's not the organizations themselves or the associations themselves. It's the people you meet. I mean, community. Linda said about Liz having been Linda's professor. Liz and I never actually worked together, but we knew of each other because we had very similar professional networks in Egypt. And I think we maybe only even overlapped for like 2 months, but we knew of each other for so long. And my mentors are close friends of hers. So it's the way that we all connect with each other that I find the most interesting, and it gives you something back. You know, I enjoy being part of TESOL because of the people. And that's part, you know, that's probably the biggest part for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting how you meet people online. Like I know so many TESOLers and I just can't wait to meet people face to face, you know. I've connected with people for years and it's not the same. Like if you don't, when you get to meet them face to face, that's definitely something really. So I can't imagine what the TESOL convention is going to be like. So hopefully.
I'm just worried they're all going to be so tall This is my problem with Zoom, is that everybody looks the same height.
Interesting. True. Beatrice. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Liz.
Beatrice, are you there?
I think my name was mentioned.
Yes. Hi, Beatrice.
Okay. I think my TESOL journey began when I became an English teacher, like almost 30 years ago, and it was accidental. That was not my intention to be an English teacher, but as you said, I fell in love with the students. I fell in love with the profession, and then when I was studying to get my master's degree, I learned about this all, and I knew nothing about it. But my classmates were so enthusiastic, were so motivated to participate in the conference. And I got everything, like I registered myself, I was ready to travel, and I got so sick that I couldn't go. So I said, okay, this is not for me. But then 2 years later, I started learning about it a little bit more. And I said, once I had the opportunity to be part, why not now? And then, as you said, once you begin, you just cannot stop being part of it. It is just simply, you cannot. So I am here, I'm taking baby steps. I feel that you have done so much in so a few years. I just got tired thinking I cannot do that much, but I'm trying to do my best. I share so many of the opinions that you have had, and I'm trying to get the best, because I know that in a way I'm becoming like a bridge between what TESOL can give to the English teachers in Bolivia. So I'm trying to transmit something of that. So yeah, that's why I'm here, and I'm not going to leave.
That's wonderful. And I liked how you said that we get into it accidentally. I know all of us, I didn't want to do teaching or education. I was interested in UN work, and I got into the UN, but after I didn't want to leave my teaching job. And I know Andy was in the medical field as well. And then you got into TESOL. So it's interesting how we just get into this and then we just get stuck, or well, not stuck, because stuck is if you can't get out, but we don't want to get out. So
I think it is because it was our call, but we didn't know, or maybe when we were called, we didn't listen to it.
True.
But then it becomes your passion, and absolutely, you cannot abandon your passion.
I think that is, Hind, I think that is the biggest P, is passion.
Oh,
yeah.
I think I got everyone on these letters trying to find. I think no one's going to sleep tonight. You're probably all going to be.
Yeah. You'll have lots of emails.
I like that. P's for passion. But I think I had Ikigai. No, I had peace for passion.
Yeah,
I did have peace.
But that's the biggest one that you shared.
That's the biggest one. Yeah, true.
Okay, I'm about to wrap up the Facebook Live and the videos. But before I do, Linda, did you have something?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you for reminding me. So I wanted to, first of all, thank our TESOL CPD leadership team. Liz England, who is currently working in Uzbekistan, sends her regards to all and thanks for joining us. She was with us earlier, but her connection was not good. And then finally, unfortunately, she lost connection, or she would have been here. So she wanted to send her love to all. And thank you to Lynn for always being here and for being our technical expert manager, and also our website builder, which if you have a minute, Lynn, maybe you could talk about that. And then one other thing before I go, I'd like to mention that we have 2 upcoming webinars. One is on October 29th at 9 a.m. Eastern time, and look for the announcements for these. They'll be on our Facebook page. But Hamza from Tajikistan is going to talk to us about professional development there and what's going on in Central Asia. And then on November 11th will be Nikki Ashcroft, who is going to talk about writing a teaching philosophy. So we're very excited about those upcoming ones and look forward to hosting them. And the information will be there on our Facebook page and also on the Tesol site. So thank you. And Lynn, would you like to say a few words about the website?
Yes, let me just quickly share. So we have, and today is the first official launch day of our Tesol Career Path Development Professional Learning Network website. I've shared the link in the chat. The link's also on our Facebook page. It's on our YouTube channel. It'll be everywhere. Liz will send out emails to the world announcing it. We've tried to keep it as clean and as simple as possible, but you find all the information about our projects. So over this last year and a half, we've been involved in several major projects, the webinars being the big one. And Hind, your webinar will be accessible here in the next 24 hours. Our own mentorship program, the 60-second stories that many people contributed to, that Linda coordinated, and our CPD Global Voices, our own Global Voices this time. And I know it's such a popular name. Ours is a series of podcasts where we've interviewed people from different areas. We're going to have some longer podcasts and some shorts, and we're working on that. But this has all been captured on our website. So please feel free to visit us. Please feel free to join our Facebook page. I don't have anything else to add except thank you to the wonderful team.
And a big hug, virtual hug to Hind. Thank you so very much for being our very first presenter for our 2021-2022 season. And you were phenomenal. And I'm sure that you have inspired many people with your talk. So thank you so much.
So much. Thank you for having me. I love the career path, and I always like being here. So thank you so much. Thank you for everyone in the team. And it was great. I look forward to all your upcoming events.
Thank you.